Yes, you read the title correct. Imperial Stormtroopers are absolutely absurd and criminally underrated. Now, I'm sure most of you are aware of the sheer amount of pop culture references poking fun at Imperial Stormtroopers, their capabilities and aim particularly. And well, I'm here to prove these views wrong. Now, before I continue, yes, my sources will be given at the end of the video. Okay, now on to the video. Now, to start off, Imperial Stormtroopers are not random conscripts. They are voluntary elite shock troops. Now that's out of the way, let's explain the Imperial Stormtrooper and where his journey starts. Their journey starts off as Imperial cadets, roughly 13 years old, or as adults join voluntarily from a Army trooper station. The cadet program itself was similar to a IRL JROTC program, teaching basic military philosophy and strategy, until adulthood where they transfer and commence Imperial Army trooper training. And depending on their ability, some transfer directly to the Stormtrooper program, though this was rare. Typically, Imperial Army recruits went through 15 weeks of basic training, and then 2 to 9 months of ATI, or Advanced Training Institutions. It encompasses specialized training such as heavy weapons, piloting, support, and gravity drop training, which were essentially free-for-all drops on numerous environments, as well as live-fire drills, pushing troopers to their peak physical condition. Now still, only the very best of the Imperial Army were even eligible for Stormtrooper training. Once recruits were sent to Stormtrooper camp, a brutal 2-year program, there were a few other academies, such as Rythal or Kurilag, but the most common and the one that makes the most sense is the Carida Academy, and it's a premier training facility for Stormtroopers and officers. It was often cited as prestigious and with exceedingly merciless standards for recruits, especially for Stormtroopers. Now, this was intentional to produce only the most capable and dedicated individuals. Now, Carida itself was quite a large planet, with a total diameter of 18,324 kilometers, and classified as a Type 1 breathable planet. It housed many different environments, perfect for combat-focused training, of course, and it also had a very high gravity. It was roughly 2 times the galactic standard, making even basic movement difficult on the planet, which only added to the brutality of the training. Now, regarding that training in mind, Stormtroopers were exceptionally gifted marksmen, requiring absolute precision during both live-fire drills and combat drills, with actual combatants, mainly the B-3 Ultra Battle droids. Yes, the same droids who were designed to eliminate Force users. And not just them either. It also, Carida, the planet itself, included many hostile wildlife, including combat arachnids, which were known for their fighting ability. On those 124-mile treks, by the way, through unforgiving terrain, up to 20 times. This also included climbing mountains thousands of feet high with full gear and no safety equipment, with already punishing gravity. I would also like to regard accuracy, and one particular instance of supreme accuracy I note from Legends was when a stormtrooper by the name of Taxtro Graves was able to eliminate an entire swoop bike gang while each one was going over 370 miles per hour. That absolutely showcases Imperial marksmanship. And of course there are plenty of other instances of extreme accuracy. I just wanted to show this one in particular. Now, one of the most interesting things regarding Stormtrooper accuracy is that with already deadshot level natural aim, they have built-in auto-targeting systems linked with their blaster and helmet, further increasing accuracy. Now, I would like to have one last mentioning for their finale to their training. Stormtroopers typically fought Force-sensitive cult encampments, usually a finale to their training. And as a side note, Stormtroopers undergo genetic screening and have to, at the very minimum, meet the physicals of Kaminoan-bred clones. And just to add, this is when they first arrived to the Stormtrooper camp. Now, back to the point. Stormtroopers were highly adept in hand-to-hand combat as well. including spars between each other and during active combat drills against other combatants, including the B3 Ultra Battle droids that I mentioned earlier. Now, I would also like to include more hand-to-hand feats as well, and one of the best examples I have was when a platoon of Stormtroopers, roughly 38, were ambushed by over 300 Wookiees, with bowcasters, mind you, and eventually the combat devolved into close-quarters combat. Wookiees, by the way, the same creatures renowned for high physical strength and ferocity, still lost with a numerical superiority, and the element of surprise. Yet, by the end of the battle, the Stormtroopers won with minimal casualties, resulting in likely 1 to 2 AIA, due to a bowcaster and or thermal imploders. And that's absolutely ridiculous when you think about it. And of course, they did also fight other aliens, which included Trandoshans, but I believe that can wait.
Really do shoot like a stormtrooper. Guess I don't have too much to worry about. This helmet! I can't see!
Now, the reason why Captain Rex, as shown in the clip before, and Luke and Han, as well we can mention from Episode 4, mention they cannot see anything in the armor, it's not due to poor visibility, but due to the genetic code of the original wearer being imbued into the code of the suit. Only that specific individual could activate the armor, hence why they couldn't see. Now, let's dissect Imperial Stormtrooper armor. It prioritized keeping the user alive, not just base armor protection, meant for blaster bolts. Though the armor was quite durable whilst being lightweight. The component, being plastoid, featured 18 composite layers of protection, mostly designed to disperse the blaster bolt, thus spreading the kinetic energy over a wider area instead of the specific area that was hit, which increased survivability. The suit itself had life support systems, as well as a body glove underneath to deal with extreme temperatures and even the vacuum of space for a short period of time. Now, the armor itself was immune to kinetic-based projectiles, as well as the low and medium-powered blasters. Only heavy blasters, such as blaster cannons, could penetrate the armor. And the armor even provided decent protection against melee weapons, with only a very few exceptions. And even if penetration is achieved, the body glove also acts as a compression sleeve to slow bleeding, until the trooper is transferred to a medbay. In addition, Stormtrooper armor was fitted with air filters and fully sealed against chemical and biological attacks. It even featured a back-mounted oxygen tank, giving the wearer 20 minutes of emergency oxygen. And contrary to popular belief, Stormtrooper armor was manufactured to the highest Imperial standards, significantly increasing its longevity and durability. And the helmet itself featured 4 layers of protection. The outer layer was made of plastoid composite. The next layer was made of anti-blaster mesh, as well as magnetic shielding. And last, an inner insulator, which was used to prevent head injury. And the helmet itself had various sensors, including threat detection, and the visor even adjusted for environmental conditions, ensuring visual clarity regardless of visual conditions. The Stormtrooper even had the optional feature of stun shocks on their fists, and Stormtroopers were equipped with the powerful E11 blaster rifle, with roughly 500 shots in its capacity before reloading. It also had multiple fire settings, including semi, pulse, and a rapid fire mode, but it was only effective for suppression or close quarters combat on that particular setting. And the blaster itself was highly customizable with numerous variants, with the capacity to be utilized in nearly any situation. Stormtroopers also had ration packs and 1 Baradium core code key detonator, designed to be personally keyed and difficult for enemies to use. And to note, some troopers carried additional concussion grenades. Now, of course, this view doesn't completely explain every single small aspect of Stormtroopers, but I believe it is adequate to get my point across. And this will be the end of the video, and I just hope everyone here who watched the entire video learned something, and also wanted to say thank you for watching the whole video. So, thank you again, and I'll see you on the next one.